Welcome to the Jar Zone, where we take complex topics and break them down for you. Today, we're diving deep into, well, arguably one of the most demanding events on the entire F1 calendar. We're talking about the Singapore Grand Prix. If you've ever wondered why this incredible night race is seen as the ultimate test of endurance for drivers and teams, stick around. We're about to unpack it all.
Yeah, absolutely. Our mission today is really to get under the skin of this race. We'll look at its history, which is quite something. We'll break down the intense technical challenges, the physical toll it takes, which is brutal, and crucially, analyze the unique strategic puzzle that Marina Bay presents. Because it's not just another race, is it? It's this incredible spectacle of lights, speed, and frankly, pure human resistance against the conditions. It's been the benchmark for difficulty since it first appeared in 2008.
Okay, let's paint that picture first. The spectacle. Singapore just burst onto the scene, didn't it? Mainly because it was completely different. The first ever F1 night race,
Yep.
It just transformed everything visually.
It really did.
You've got that amazing city skyline lit up. Sources mention something like 1,500, maybe 1,600 special floodlights, apparently designed to mimic daylight, right?
That's the idea, yeah, to provide consistent lighting across the whole track. And the atmosphere it creates. It's just, well, electric. Incomparable, really.
But it wasn't all smooth sailing from the start, was it? The history got complicated, fast.
Fascinatingly so. While the visual impact was immediate, Marina Bay's reputation was, let's say, instantly colored by the controversy of that very first race in 2008, the CRASHGATE scandal.
Right, CRASHGate. That still echoes, doesn't it? We're talking about Renault essentially telling Nelson Piquet Jr. to deliberately crash his car.
Yeah, to bring out a safety car.
Exactly. All to help Fernando Alonso's strategy, who then went on to win the race.
It was blatant manipulation.
And it had consequences later, sanctions, dismissals. But it really showed right from day one that on this track, maybe because it's so chaotic, strategy can mean, well, anything, even cheating.
Precisely. It highlighted just how valuable capitalizing on that safety car could be. The stakes are incredibly high. But if we talk about pure driving mastery of this place,
Yeah.
you have to mention Sebastian Vettel. He's the king here, really. 5 wins.
5 wins is incredible around there.
It really is. It just shows the level of precision needed. And of course, you can't talk Singapore without mentioning Lewis Hamilton.
No,
Especially that qualifying lap in 2018. Just, wow. Still seen as one of the greatest laps in F1 history. Pure street circuit magic.
That kind of perfection lap after lap.
Yeah.
It leads us to the core question, doesn't it? Why is Singapore the most demanding race? Physically, mentally? People talk about Monaco being tough for concentration, but Singapore seems to be on another level entirely. Why?
It really is a perfect storm of factors. It's that relentless combination of the tropical climate and the sheer length of the race. Think about it. Air temperatures consistently around 30, 32 degrees Celsius. That's hot to start with.
Yeah, very warm.
But then you add humidity that's constantly above 80%. You're effectively racing inside a giant moving sauna for almost 2 hours.
Right.
Under immense physical exertion.
A sauna inside a heat lamp, as you put it earlier.
Yeah, something like that. And the duration is key. This race often pushes right up against the 2-hour regulatory limit. There's just no let-up.
So nearly 2 hours of intense focus in those debilitating conditions.
Exactly. And the physical cost to the drivers is just immense. We're talking about them losing up to 3 kilograms of body fluid, mostly sweat.
3 kilos. That's a lot.
It's huge. And it's not just about feeling thirsty. This leads to serious dehydration, a genuine risk of heat stroke, and debilitating cramps. Arms.
You hear drivers talking about it all the time.
Oh, yeah. Champions, guys like Fernando Alonso, Lewis Hamilton, they've openly called it the hardest race of the season physically. It actually requires specific training beforehand, like spending time in heat chambers, just to cope.
So how does that physical grain translate on track? Does it lead to more mistakes? Can you actually see it in the data? Slower reactions?
That's a critical connection, yes. When a driver gets significantly dehydrated, studies show reaction times can slow down, potentially by as much as 25%.
25%? Wow. On a street track.
Where the walls are literally inches away. That tiny fraction of a second difference in reacting and braking, that's the difference between making the corner and ending up in the barrier. The fatigue itself becomes a factor in the race's outcome. It fuels the chaos. You tend to see more errors creep in during the last third of the race.
Especially in the tighter sections.
Yeah, exactly. Those tight 90-degree corners demand such precision. As fatigue sets in, that micro-level control starts to fade.
Okay, so we've covered the human element, the physical challenge. Let's talk about the track itself, the Marina Bay Street Circuit. The numbers. 4.940 kilometers long, 62 laps, 19 corners. Sounds dense.
It is. It's a proper Street Fighter's layout. Most of those corners are slow or medium speed. It really emphasizes mechanical grip, traction out of the corners, rather than just pure aero efficiency like some faster tracks.
People compare it to Monaco, right? Because of the walls?
Yeah, the comparison comes up a lot.
Yeah.
Narrow, unforgiving walls right there.
Yeah.
But Singapore is longer, significantly so, and arguably much tougher because of the heat and the sheer number of braking and acceleration cycles, lap after lap.
And the layout itself hasn't stayed exactly the same, has it? There was that change in 2023.
That's right, yeah. A pretty significant tweak, actually. They removed 4 quite slow, fiddly corners in the final sector, replaced them with a straighter, faster section.
And the thinking behind that was?
Mainly to try and improve overtaking opportunities, which were always notoriously difficult here. It also gives the tires a little bit of a breather, a chance to cool down slightly on that straight. But make no mistake, even with that change, the fundamental challenge is still immense.
Okay, let's shift to strategy. Because if there's one thing that defines Singapore strategy, it's anticipating, well, chaos, thanks to one particular very frequent guess.
Absolutely. You simply cannot talk Singapore strategy without talking about the safety car. It's not just likely here, it's, well, practically guaranteed.
Yeah.
It holds this unique, slightly terrifying record.
Go on.
Every single Singapore Grand Prix held since 2008, every single one, has featured at least one safety car deployment.
100%. That's unbelievable.
It really is. It completely shapes how teams approach the race. You can't just have a fixed plan A. You have to be flexible, constantly reacting, managing your tire life specifically so you could potentially benefit when, not if, those yellow flags come out.
That 100% record really makes the tire choice fascinating. It seems obvious, but also really tricky.
It's a real paradox because the track surface itself is quite low grip street tarmac. Pirelli has to bring their softest compounds, the C3, C4, C5 range.
The stickiest tires, basically.
Exactly. You need that grip. But a problem is, those soft tires really struggle with the high track temperatures and the constant acceleration and braking cycles out of slow corners. They overheat and wear quickly.
So you need the softs for grip, but they don't last long in the heat. And you know a safety car is probably coming, so the game is trying to make the tires last just long enough to hit that safety car window perfectly for a pit stop.
That's precisely the gamble. Teams usually aim for 1 or maybe 2 stops. But the timing is almost always dictated by when the safety car appears. Pitting into the safety car saves you a huge amount of time compared to pitting under green flag conditions.
Right, the cheap pit stop.
Exactly. Pit too early under green, you lose track position, wait too long hoping for a safety car that takes ages to appear, and your tires might just fall apart. It's high-stakes poker every single year.
And that chaos, that strategic gamble, has led to some truly memorable moments, hasn't it? Both good and bad. I mean, that start in 2017. Vettel, Raikkonen, Verstappen all tangling.
Oh yeah, turn 1 chaos. Perfectly illustrates how quickly things can go wrong here. 3 front runners out, just like that. The track is just unforgiving.
But then you get the flip side, moments of absolute strategic mastery, like Carlos Sainz's win in 2023. That was something else.
That was huge, because it broke that incredible winning streak Red Bull was on all season.
And it wasn't just about having the fastest car, was it? You described it as brilliant strategic defense. How did that actually play out?
It was like watching a chess match at 200 miles an hour. Sainz knew the Mercedes behind were faster. He couldn't just drive away. So he did something incredibly clever. He deliberately kept Lando Norris in the McLaren, who was running second, just within the 1-second DRS gap.
So he gave Norris the drag reduction system to help him.
Exactly. By giving Norris DRS on the straights, Sainz effectively made Norris faster, allowing Norris to defend against George Russell in the charging Mercedes. Russell had to fight Norris instead of attacking Sainz directly. Sainz basically used Norris as a shield. It was a win built purely on racecraft, tire management, positional awareness, and frankly, psychological pressure, not just raw speed.
That is a fantastic example of how Singapore forces drivers to be more than just drivers. They have to be strategists in the cockpit.
Oh.
Okay, let's look forward then. The 2025 race is scheduled for October 3rd to 5th. What's the format for that weekend?
Right. For 2025, they'll be running the sprint format. So for anyone maybe not familiar, that means a really packed weekend. Friday is practice 1, then straight into sprint qualifying. Saturday, you have the shorter sprint race itself, followed by the main qualifying session for Sunday's Grand Prix.
So less practice time, more pressure right from the start.
Absolutely. It ramps up the intensity across the whole weekend. Less time to dial in the car, more high-pressure sessions.
And given what we know about the track, needing good mechanical grip, driver endurance being key, who should we maybe keep an eye on? Early thoughts.
Well, you can never count out Red Bull, obviously. They're still the benchmark. But Ferrari, they often seem to find something extra at Marina Bay. The car characteristics sometimes suit those tight 90-degree turns. And the team that's really shown momentum on these kinds of street circuits recently is McLaren. They seem strong where mechanical grip is crucial.
And its position in the calendar late in the season in October, that adds pressure too, right?
Definitely. Being held in October often means Singapore falls at a critical point in the championship battle. A mistake here, a bad result.
Yeah.
Could be doubly costly when points are so vital towards the end of the season.
And we should touch on the wider event too. It's more than just what happens on the track. The whole city embraces it.
Oh, completely. It's a massive urban festival. Huge international music acts perform. There are fan zones everywhere, cultural events. The race weekend total transforms the city. And, economically, it's huge for Singapore. Hundreds of millions in tourism revenue. It's a signature event for the country on a global stage. So we try and boil it all down. Singapore is just this ultimate test, isn't it? For the drivers, it is absolutely the peak physical and mental challenge of the year, a place where just managing fatigue is key to avoiding race-ending errors. And for the teams, it's this fascinating, almost terrifying strategic game, completely dominated by that guaranteed safety car. It really cements its place as one of F1's most spectacular, unpredictable, and complex challenges.
That concludes this analysis of the news we've covered regarding the Singapore Grand Prix.
Which leaves us with a thought for you, the listener, to ponder. Given everything we know, the guaranteed safety car, the history of unconventional tactics, the sheer physical drain, what unseen factor, something beyond just the raw speed of the car, do you think will truly decide the winner in 2025? Will it be down to the driver who best handles that extreme fatigue? Or the strategist on the pit wall who plays that safety car gamble most effectively? Something to think about.
Indeed. And before you go, don't forget to subscribe to the Drux Zone for more deep dives into the knowledge you need.